2025 NFL Draft has officially wrapped up, and coming up on today's edition of the Jets Report, we're going to be diving into our official grade segment. We're going to be grading every single pick and also give you the final grade on the tail half. My name is Patrick Seatman. Thank you guys for joining us. But we'll be talking about Membou, Mason Taylor, azareye'h Thomas, Arian Smith, and then also Malachi Moore. Love that pickup as well, and we'll deep dive into that one. But then also Kiko Alonso, and then also Tyler Barron as well. But two Miami players taken in round 5 for the New York Jets. But overall, I thought it was a really good haul for first-year GM Darren Moogie. Now, before we dive into all of it, if you guys could, hit that subscribe button down below. We're closing in on, I believe, 5,000 subscribers. So if you guys could, hit that subscribe button today. Help us reach 5K here on YouTube. So the Jets went Armand Membou in round 1, pick number 7. We could quickly talk about Membou here. Listen, we talked about him for about 2 months straight in the draft process and just talking about how he would really solidify this Jets offensive line, because you got Fashanu, you got Membou, you got a good interior with Elijah Vera-Tucker and John Simpson at the guard spot, and also Joe Tippmann at center. And now I think this unit, you got a chance to be, a top 10 unit. And, if you really get elite production out of Fashanu and Membou from necessary year 1 for both of them, since Fashanu missed time last year, this could be a top 5 unit if these guys end up working out. But I love the Membou pick. I would probably just have to give that a solid A. And his PFF grade this past season at Missouri was 90.4 with 0 sacks allowed. And he's still 21 years old, so there's still a lot of untapped potential. And hopefully Aaron Glenn and this coaching staff can get the most out of him. But then also the Jets, round 2, pick number 42, took Mason Taylor, tight end, out of LSU. Now, I was a massive fan of this pick, mainly because his dad played for the New York Jets, and there's a sweet photo of him, at the Jets game. He's got the whole Jets eye black on and everything. But the Jets clearly had a need at the tight end position. And this guy's a freak. Big body, 6'5", moves extremely well, really, really soft hands as a tight end. I actually do think you can split him out wide. He can be an inline tight end as well, but he's just a natural athlete, especially at the catch point, fluid on the move. He's the classic safety valve, which, for a guy like Justin Fields would be massive because, we all really believe the Jets will be a run-first team this year, but on those key third downs, he can find the soft spot in the zone, be that safety net for Justin Fields. He's got great size, doesn't always play up to it, but who knows, maybe that would change at the next level. But Dane Brugler wrote this up about Mason Taylor, saying Taylor was Mr. Reliable in the LSU offense and can be the same for an NFL team. Because of his good size, athleticism, reliable ball skills, and competitive blocking, he projects as a solid NFL starter who doesn't have to leave the field and has some similarities to Hunter Henry. So overall, for the Mason Taylor pick, I probably got to give this an A-, B+ around that range. But now we can talk about maybe my favorite pick for the New York Jets throughout this whole draft, azareye'h Thomas, cornerback out of Florida State. About 6'1.5", 200 pounds, super long arms, super big hands as well. And he had 4 PBUs last season with 1 interception for Florida State. And he was also very productive the year before as well with 10 pass breakups in that season. And actually the year before for Florida State, he was targeted 41 times, only allowed 20 completions. And then this past year, targeted 33 times, only allowed 17 completions. But he's long, lanky, and he's that typical cornerback mold that these NFL teams love. Just long arms, freak athlete. We had a round 2 grade on him, so it was pretty sweet that they were able to land him in the 3rd round. Now, Dane Brugler comped him to Carlton Davis. I really like that one. And if Thomas ends up being a Carlton Davis level of corner, and you got him on the opposite side of Sauce Gardner, we could be looking at this as one of the best picks for the Jets this season. But they also ended up going with the speedster, Arian Smith. And we'll deep dive into Arian Smith here in a second, give you guys everything you need to know on Smith. But first off, got to give a shout-out to today's sponsor. We're going to dive into more New York Jets draft grades here in a second. But before we do so, I got to tell you about today's presenting sponsor, and that is Chubbies. And if you guys head to chubbyshorts.com/chat, and plug in promo code chat, you guys will get 20% off your order. Now, fellas, April is here, but this ain't the time for fooling. It's time to let those thighs breathe. Whether you're playing a round of golf with the fellas, hitting up a beer garden, or visiting an actual garden, Chubbies has you covered for all the good vibes the warm weather brings. And if you guys head to chubbyshorts.com/chat, I can get you guys 20% off the Chubby's original line of shorts, swim trunks, and polos. You'll love either. And you guys can also pair the original stretch shorts with Chubby's lineup of performance polos, and now you're cooking with gas. With a soft, stretchy, and breathable fabric, these polos are built to kick back, turn up, chill out, or even party down. Whether you're getting dressed for your workday, a workout, or a weekend getaway, Chubby's has you covered. And for a limited time, Chubby's is giving our viewers 20% off your order with code chat at chubbyshorts.com. That's code chat at chubbyshorts.com. Support our show and tell them we sent you. Don't blend in with the crowd. Stand out with Chubby's. So I think the most ballsy pick from the New York Jets in this entire draft had to have been Arian Smith. Now, we had a 7th-round grade on him, and they took him at pick 110 in the 4th round. And, just keep it simple with Arian Smith, this dude's fast. He can scoot on that football field, averaged 17 yards per catch this past season, had just under 900 yards on 48 grabs. Now, listen, he's got bad hands, and he doesn't really have a kick return background, but maybe the Jets view him as that. And listen, he's a literal track star. He ran the 4x100 for Georgia, so a literal track star there. But yeah, nearly 20 yards per catch in his whole career. He had 10 touchdowns on just 68 career catches, and you guys see that 40-yard dash time, 4.36. Incredible stuff there. But five forced missed tackles this season for Georgia. Lots of medical concerns. Surgery on his wrist in 2022 before his freshman year in Athens to address a fracture in high school. Torn meniscus in the right knee, which required surgery July 2020. And then also he battled turf toe and a shin contusion throughout his first half of the 2021 season. Then he also broke his right fibula in 2021 as well, which required season-ending surgery. And he also has a high right ankle sprain and tore ligament from the 2022 fall camp, which required surgery and sidelined him for 4 games and a sophomore. So there's definitely some concerns with Arian Smith. There's also a lot of upside, and we also know the Jets did a ton of work on him in the pre-draft process. So clearly, Aaron Glenn, they wanted this guy. I think this is the most ballsy pick here. But you guys let me know. Who is your favorite pick for the Jets during the 2025 NFL Draft? For the feel-good story, I'm going to go Mason Taylor. Or Thomas from Florida State. Either of those two. Either a 2nd or 3rd round pick. But you guys let me know. Who's your favorite pick for the New York Jets? Let me know your thoughts down below. Honestly, I completely forgot about Malachi Moore, else I would have probably said that might have been my favorite pick here. The Alabama safety, extremely productive. Honestly, I'm shocked the Jets were able to get him this late in the draft in round 4, pick 130. Now, we did have a 5th-round grade on him. I just thought some of these GMs would have taken a stab at this guy since he was incredibly productive. Played in 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024 for Alabama. But, he's got tweener traits between like a safety and a nickel. So I'm assuming the Jets would just play him at safety with a big need there. But, you can move him all around the football field. And, this is what Dane Brugler had to say on Malachi Moore, saying he doesn't have difference-making size or athletic traits, but he is tough. An instinctive player who can defend the run and play just enough range in coverage. He projects best as a post or half-field safety in zone, which would allow him to patrol, work top down, and be a solid NFL contributor. And the Jets are going to need him to be a day one contributor because I think he's probably going to start week 1 for the New York Jets. You have a massive need at the safety position. Besides Andre Sisco, not a lot to write home about, but a ton of experience from Malachi Moore, which I love. 3,000-plus defensive snaps, plus 46 starts. Played all over the field. The only position he didn't play was an outside corner, but overall, like this pick here. And then we get to a couple of Miami guys in the 5th round for the New York Jets here. Francisco, they call him, bad TV here. Let me just double check his nickname. Just want to make sure this is right. Kiko. They call him Kiko. Mauingoa, linebacker from Miami, 6'2", 233 pounds, had 11 TFLs this past season with 6 PBUs and 21 pressures as well, with a total of 96 tackles. But this guy's a thumper who will hit and fit in the run game. Dependable team captain with good instincts. Love that. And I believe he also wore the green dot at Miami. So he was a play caller on defense with great instincts. Like I was saying, testing was a nice surprise, actually. He ran a 4.6 40 and a 9.13 RAS score and a 4.24 shuttle with a 35-inch vertical leap. Now, the bad on him, he's not too big. He does lack a little length and too many missed tackles. 18 for 16.1% missed tackle rate this season. And his career rate is 14.2. And, I don't love him as a coverage linebacker. Not too fluid, not too bursty. Little worried about his athletic ability, but hey, he tested great, so maybe that'll translate to the next level. But the Jets, speaking about Miami, I almost said Dolphins right there. But Tyler Barron, edge rusher from Miami, this was the final pick for the New York Jets after they traded up in the 5th round. Now he's 6'4", 258 pounds, big body. Had 5.5 sacks this past season, 6 sacks the year before. He had 4 years at Tennessee before heading to Miami. And he actually turns 24 years old in October. Now, when he was with Tennessee, they actually put him at defensive tackle, more pressure packages than anything. So maybe, Aaron Glenn, Steve Wilks view this guy as like a, third down interior defensive lineman. That could be a possibility here, but he's got a very high pressure rate. Seems like a good athlete. Size is solid. Plays low like he needs to. And like we were saying, overall, a very good athlete. 8.66 RAS score. Now, the only bad for him, didn't really play a lot of special team snaps this past season. So, obviously, if these guys are huge special team contributors, they're more likely to make the roster than not. But 6 penalties each of the last 3 seasons. So that's another bad. And he also needs to add a little more power. And he's a little tight as a rusher in the lower body. But he's extremely raw. So Jets kind of taking a flyer on this one. But overall, I think it was a really good draft for the New York Jets. Now, I think they addressed some positions of need while also going some BPA selections. Really excited to see these guys out there rocking that Jets green here this next season. But, overall, massive fan of it. Darren Moogie, Aaron Glenn, all eyes are on them to see how they're going to attack this draft. And, I also did like, even though Arian Smith was a reach, I like that they almost had the balls to take him in the 4th round because they're saying, yeah, we love this guy. Like, if he ends up hitting, people will be, looking at Darren Moogie, looking at Aaron Glenn is like, oh, those guys know how to draft a little bit. So overall, I'm going to give this a B+. Jets had a lot of picks to work with, and they took advantage of all of them. So I'm going to give it a B+. Positions of need, got some BPA picks, and, honestly, just the first 3 picks of Thomas, Taylor, and Membou, man. That's going to be pretty damn fun. It's going to be fun to watch those 3 this upcoming season. But I do appreciate you guys just tuning in for our entire Jets draft coverage throughout the whole 2025 NFL draft. And if you guys could grade it for me, how do you feel about the Jets draft? You mean A, B, C, D, or F? I'm giving it a B+. I was pretty satisfied with what Darren Moogie and Aaron Glenn decided to do. But we're going to hop on out of here. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. And we'll see you guys next time. As always, go Jets.